Hey, this is Frank Iero from Frank Iero and the Celebration, and you're listening to Morgan Richards on Radio Cardiff.
Here, Morgan Richards from Radio Cardiff, 90.7 FM. I'm very pleased to say that I'm backstage here at Reading Festival 2015. I'm joined by a man who's been a part of so many different bands and projects over the years, they should start giving him his own genre. It's, of course, everyone's favourite joyriding guitarist from New Jersey. It's the wonderful Mr. Frank Iero.
How you doing, man?
Hey, Frank, you okay?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries. So how's things?
It's going really well. Just very pleased and I feel blessed to have been asked to play the festival again, and now in a different capacity. Growing up, I remember reading about Reading and Leeds and seeing some of my favorite bands play it, and not really having any idea what that was, but wondering one day if I would ever get to see what that was and see my favorite bands there. And now, many years later, getting to play it in different bands and on different stages, it's unbelievable. It really is.
So Frank, as I mentioned, over the years you've been a part of many different bands and projects, all having their own real identity and unique style of sound. Looking back at them now, do you feel for you they've all been as important as each other to explore different musical outlets?
Absolutely. I feel like everything that you go through, every experience that you have, every step along the way is responsible for where you end up, and especially creatively. I think you need to go through those different factions, those different aspects, and explore these different genres, or explore just different ways of looking at creativity, or ways of looking at life. If I didn't get to do that kind of stuff, I don't know how it would manifest itself in my life. I've always been one to when opportunity arose that I wanted to be a part of, I never said no. I'd figure out how to do it later on, basically, and I'm happy about that, man. I'm happy for those experiences. It made me the person I am.
And of course, over the last couple of years, you've been incredibly busy with your most recent project, Frank Iero and the Celebrations, which actually only started as you trying to vent out some thoughts and feelings in your basement, but has had a great deal of support since the debut album, Stomachaches, was released last summer.
Yeah, it was a project I never really expected to undertake. It was I wrote these songs in my basement because I needed to write them, because I needed to regain that part of myself, that creative side, and that was it. I was gonna record them, keep them, and it would document this time in my life, and then that was I was done. I was gonna do something else. But just so happened that a friend of mine, wanted to hear what I'd been up to. I played him some songs, and he convinced me to play it for somebody else, and then before I knew it, I had a few people asking to put the record out, and that was it. So it's been a bit of a whirlwind. It was never my intention to be I'm gonna be the front man of a band now. I'm gonna now I'm gonna go solo. It's I never wanted that shit. I never thought that sounded fun. I'm perfectly happy being in bands. And at that point, after my Kent was done, I was doing death spells, and then I was gonna probably just do something else, something different, not having to do with music. But now, a year later, I find myself on tour, playing music. So I don't know what that says about me, but probably says it's like one of those that Godfather thing, you try to get out and they pull you back in, kind of thing.
And of course, with the songs being really written in your basement and recording day, they almost have a very personal and raw effect to them.
Yeah, I think it's very much, for me, it's a folk record of it's a collection of stories, things that I've either gone through or saw other people go through firsthand, and things that I needed to get out. I wanted it to be very pure, and going into it, I promised myself that the songs I would just channel them through me. I didn't want to fuck with them too much. Like I said, I wanted just the documentation of the time and where they were written. And a lot of these songs, they stem from early experiences in my life. So it's nice that this was the start, because I feel like I got through a lot of the stuff that I saw early on, and influenced me early on.
And one thing, Frank, I really wanted to mention to you is that when you were getting people in to form the celebrations, you really could have had anybody in the world to join, but you were very adamant to get some of your lifelong friends from your local scene in New Jersey to start this project.
Yeah, I knew I wanted to start a band with my brother-in-law Evan for a very, very long time. Ever since he was a kid and started bands and stuff like that, I'd go see him and stuff like that, and he was just so talented. He had way more talent than he should have had at a young age, and then it just so happens that he's older now, and this arose, and it was like, oh, this is the perfect time, to do this. So I see a lot of myself in him. I see a lot of the things that I wanted in myself in him, and he's just a wonderful person and a wonderful musician, and I wouldn't want to do it with anyone else. So that was my first pick. Second was I knew that Rob Hughes was somebody that I loved touring with and I loved playing with. I'd done a band called Leathermouth with him, and he was so amazing to have around that when I knew I was going to be doing a lot of touring and things, I was like, oh, well, we have to have Rob involved. And then it was very organic. I didn't know Matt for a very long time before I'm starting this band. I met him through a mutual friend named Kevin, who does backroom studios in New Jersey, and it was just like one of those things where I was like, I need a drummer. I need to meet some new people. Like I've played with a bunch of people around here, and no one is right for it. And he was like, I know the right guy. And I was like, oh, really? And he was like, yeah, you come over and see this kid play. And I saw Matt play maybe about a week later, and we exchanged numbers, and we just kind of hit it off as friends first, and then we just start rehearsing, and I never looked back.
And now, Frank, with it being a year since the release of Stomachaches, have you had any thoughts about maybe doing another Celebrations album now in the very near future?
I have a lot of songs in my head. It's different though. My world's a lot different, and now the approach to the record is a lot different because I know people are going to hear it. I think that there's another record. I don't know if it's a celebration record. That doesn't mean it's going to be different people though. It just means it's going to be different. And I can't see doing a different record and having it be called the same thing. So we'll see what that entails. But I think it's going to be. I think the songs need to dictate what that is, and I won't know until the end of the year what that is until I get the songs out of my head.
Well, looking forward to maybe hearing those when they eventually come out then.
I hope so. Yeah. Otherwise, they're just going to be stuck in there forever and just drive me nuts. Yeah.
And Frank, just one last thing now, of course, before you go. You've just recently released a split 7-inch vinyl with your Hassle record buddies in Lonely the Brave.
Yeah. It was nice to get that out there. I feel like growing up and collecting music and getting into bands and stuff like that, there was a lot of instances where I would pick up a split 7-inch and from one band that I knew, and then learn about another band through that. And I loved that, and I felt like nobody really did that much anymore. So when that idea came up through Hassle, I jumped on it, and that was really a great idea, especially to do with a great band like Lonely the Brave.
And with all that now, is there anything else we can expect from Frank Iero and the Celebrations in the very near future? Maybe possible another UK tour soon, or?
Maybe not soon on that. I think we're gonna go home and write a bit. We'll do a little bit more touring end of the year, but I don't know if it's gonna be UK based. And then hopefully record and then probably start touring again after that.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Well, that's about it. Cheers, Frank, for taking time out to have a quick chat with me.
That was my pleasure.
Oh, no worries.
Thank you.
Best of luck now with everything in the near future, and hopefully I can catch up with you again very soon.
That sounds great. All right, man. Thank you.